Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Baron Bell, and welcome to the Dominion Development blog for the week of April 5th, 2020. This week, we're going to be talking about the character development of Queen Ahinoam, and that's how you say her name, Ahinoam. And she is the Golden Queen of Dominion. Her name in Hebrew means pleasant, and I really do appreciate the rich history that I have access to in the Bible when I'm kind of creating this new world and these new characters. There's not really a lot mentioned in the Bible about Ahinoam. Just in 1 Samuel 14, we learned that Saul does have a wife. Her name is Ahinoam. And then also, strangely enough, she is mentioned as David's wife too in 1 Samuel 25, verse 14. That's probably because after Saul's house fell, David was the recipient of all of his possessions. That means including his wives, believe it or not. And yeah, that's kind of weird, but it's the way things happened back in the day. But the history is rich, and I'm embellishing a lot because there's not a lot there to really talk about. So this rough sketch is just a very iconic pose for the queen, something that you can really see and identify her character. She's very regal, very royal. They call her the Golden Queen because her subjects love her. The Dominion subjects, they absolutely adore her. She is beautiful, kind, compassionate, but also strong. She's actually the driving force behind the king. She actually probably is kind of like the leader and the ruler, de facto ruler, because King Saul he has gone off into delusions of grandeur at this point, and he's really not the best leader, and she understands that. When it comes to designing anthropomorphic characters, you kind of have to come to an understanding of what you really want. In some cases, some people may want more animal-like characters than human, and others can be more human than animal. In this case, I wanted to strike a balance between the two, but especially with the female characters, to bring out a more sense of femininity, because when you look at an animal muzzle, you really can't tell what they are as far as male or female. So I really wanted to make that differentiation a little bit more pronounced in the female, giving her more of a human kind of appearance, but still maintaining that animal like appearance as well. This sketch was created in the program Procreate. Procreate is awesome because just like Photoshop, you can work with layers. So I was able to put my visual reference, my previous sketches or drawings, renderings of Ahinoam on a couple different layers so I can refer back to them. You kind of have to do that so that you can maintain consistency over all of your character designs, because you're going to need to be able to turn them around in 3 dimensions. And how do I make sure the eyes are in the same spot? How do I make sure the nose is where it should be, and all of that? So you definitely want to make sure you maintain cohesion with all of your characters. For this sketch, which will be a fully rendered drawing, I put the face and the shoulders on one layer, and then I put the headdress on a separate layer. It helps me to be able to work with them differently and separately. And if I need to make any changes or whatever, I don't have to go ahead and erase everything. I can just work on the layer below or the layer above, and then I will combine the layers at the end when I'm done. Visual reference is always, always, always important to maintain consistency. I can't stress it enough. You don't draw from your head. Please don't. Use visual reference whenever possible. Me, I love Pinterest because I'm able to actually collect a lot of images and refer to them when I'm drawing in Pinterest. So it's really cool. If you don't have a Pinterest account, get one and start building up your visual reference library. So, what was the inspiration for her look and her feel? I will say basically, um, she is a mix of Sarabi from The Lion King, Nefertiti, the Queen of Egypt, and I threw a little bit of Marlene Dietrich in there, former Hollywood actress from the studio system, to actually give that regal beauty, but kind of a mysterious aspect to it, which was very cool. The overall style for her clothing and her costume is drawn from Art Nouveau and Art Deco movements in art. The overall style for Dominion is majestic. It should remind you of, if you have ever seen the movie Dune or the Chronicles of Riddick. Those are like really big inspirations for me as far as style, because they're so big, they're so grand, they're so ostentatious. Um, Dominion is regal. Dominion is old. Dominion needs to feel like it has been established for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And it still has that kind of a sci-fi element too as well. So I kind of throw those elements in here or there, not so much in a Ahinoam design, but an overall the look and the feel and appearance of things in Dominion. It really needs. She's proud, she's elegant, she's grand, and she has to feel like this. One inspiration I took in particular was from this fantastic artist who just recently died due to coronavirus. His name is Juan Jimenez, and he did this book called The Meta Barons. And if you've never read it, it is not for children, but some of the, if you pull up some artwork on Google, you should be able to find some of his art, which is a mix of Gothic, a mix of uh, regal architecture and artwork mixed with sci-fi, and it was very very cool. So his book Meta Barons had a really big influence on me, and you'll notice that in the style of Dominion. So when you do your artwork, especially if you're working in Procreate, and I highly suggest you use a software like this program, because you're not only able to have different layers, but you're also able to use a mode called symmetry. And symmetry is really cool because you can actually start drawing on one side of the screen and it duplicates what you're doing on the other side. And to me, that's like also a game changer, because it makes me faster. My work is much faster and cleaner, and I'm able to really do some really solid work. Another thing about Procreate is every time you draw a line, if you press and hold that line at the end of your stroke, it actually gives you the option to edit that line. So you can either change the position of it, or you can, if you have a really wobbly curve, you can actually press and hold, and you can adapt that curve almost in a vector fashion. So if you've ever worked in Illustrator, that's kind of like what we're talking about here with this. So it's really, really very very cool when you have those options, and that helps me to, like I said, be faster, but also be much much cleaner. And overall, guys, as artists, the goal is to get as clean as possible. Finding a platform like Procreate was really a blessing to be able to have access to that. I used to work on a Cintiq and digital tablets, but those were a little bit bulkier and cumbersome. When you have an iPad, you can take that wherever you go, and an Apple Pencil really, really is a game changer. I used a Blue Sketch Pencil 6B, kind of like to go old school, because that's how I used to do it when I was making comics back in the day, with a 6B pencil and Bristol board with a Blue Sketch. But it's cool because I'm able to simulate that style and feel, and it kind of makes it feels like I'm going home when I do that. So that's it. Queen Ahinoam, Golden Queen of Dominion, my quick sketch for this week's developers blog. If you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, also in the comment section below, I will be able to answer most, if not all, of your questions, depending on the type of questions you have. We will be doing these development blogs weekly, so please come back for the next one. Cool thing about Dominion is it is an allegory, so I get to use my fertile imagination to build wonderful vistas and just a wonderful new space opera. The book is going to be dropping on the 17th of August, but it is now available for pre-order. And if you pre-order it in the month of April, you will get a 10% discount on all Dominion merch and books. Please stay safe and come back next week, and I will definitely have another development blog. So have a great one and be blessed.